Some say the day of the electric vehicle has arrived. The plug-in Chevy Volt has a rechargeable battery and for additional range can switch to a small gasoline engine to recharge the battery. The plug-in Nissan Leaf is an all-electric vehicle designed for short commutes. Electric cars were once a significant part of the market. This electric vehicle was built in Los Angeles by a high school student, Earl Anthony, in 1897. Many other electric cars were on American roads in the early 20th century. But gasoline-powered cars, with their greater range, came to dominate the highways. In 1996, General Motors released the EV1 to wide acclaim. Leslie Kendall of the Peterson Automotive Museum says drivers liked it.
I mean, it looked cool, no doubt about it. And in the major American markets that it was tested, people got to see it and really responded favorably, and it performed beautifully.
But it was expensive to make and had a limited range. Production stopped after 1999. Today's electric models have solved some earlier problems, but charging stations are hard to find outside of major cities, says Edward Kerr of Southern California Edison, an electric utility company.
There is no question that we need to focus on the distribution level, so that's really the last 50 feet, if you like, of the energy delivery system, because we're going to see geographic concentrations of these vehicles.
New charging stations are being installed in homes and businesses, many by the company AeroVironment. AeroVironment's Kristen Helsel says the technology is spreading.
Everywhere from Australia to Canada, Brazil, across Europe, all sorts of places all across the Pacific Rim. There's almost nowhere that we're not going. India, places like that. You know, those are all places that have a really strong interest in vehicle electrification.
Gasoline-electric hybrid cars, including Toyota's Prius, are popular with drivers who are concerned with the environment and the rising cost of fuel. But they are still a small part of the market, says Carl Bauer of the automotive research site Edmunds.com.
The traditional gasoline engines, of course, are still what power most vehicles, so of course they make up most of the research that people do. The hybrid market has remained somewhere between 2% and 3% really for the last 5+ years, so it's still a very small amount. And of course the pure electric market's much smaller than that.
Bauer says drivers worry about running out of power, but he says that with planning they won't, and batteries are improving. He notes that options are being considered to extend the range of the cars.
There's a couple different approaches, whether it's utilizing batteries that swap out quickly and you go to a corner, charging station, and instead of waiting an hour or 5 hours to charge the car, you spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes having the batteries swapped out. That's one thing they've talked about as a future solution.
Other technologies, including non-polluting hydrogen fuel cells, are also being tested by the major automakers to power the electric drivetrains of the new vehicles. Electric cars may one day meet the needs of consumers faced with rising fuel costs, says Leslie Kendall.
They seem to want a vehicle that's powered by a renewable resource, a vehicle that does not pollute the air, a vehicle with fewer moving parts, it's simpler to operate and run, a vehicle that's quieter and smoother, and all those good things.
With expanding infrastructure, he says electric vehicles may look more and more attractive. Mike O'Sullivan, VOA News, Los Angeles.